Okay, good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Path to Healthy Aging session. I'm David Bettis. I'm with the Hidalgo County Wellness Program, and I really appreciate that you are joining in on the session. And just before we get started, I just want to make sure that everything runs smoothly. So to please click on the raise hand icon if you can clearly see my slides and if you can actually hear me. Okay, I think we're good. Okay, and just a quick reminder to everybody. I just want to let you know if you missed out on any of the live sessions yesterday, they are on right now. All of them were recorded and they are on right now as on-demand videos. I'm sure you probably saw them when you entered the auditorium. So yeah, they're all there and they're all really beneficial. It's a lot of beneficial information for everybody, and we really hope that you get to go back and watch them at your convenience. Okay, and at this point, okay, it's my pleasure to introduce our guest speakers. We have two of them. I'm very sure you know at least one of them very well. But both of them are. Hold on. You know them very well and see them throughout the entire wellness fair. And I'd like first to introduce you to Diana Huallpa. She is a globe health professional focused on. She is a globe health professional focused on improving the health of population through statistical analysis and the development of community programs. She has a bachelor's in political science and a bachelor of general studies with an emphasis on chemistry, biology, and medical Spanish from the University of Pan American and the University of Texas Rio Grande Valley. She obtained her master in science and globe health and social justice from King's College London in the UK. That's pretty cool. Her academic interest lies in the area of the social determinants of health, quantitative research, and public health. Diana served as the Hidalgo County Wellness Program Coordinator from 2019 to 2021, and will now be serving as the Program Manager for the American Rescue Plan Act for the Department of Budget and Management. Now on to the next Diana. Diana Salinas received her bachelor's degree in environmental science from the University of Texas Rio Grande Valley in 2019, where she studied food relationships and organic agriculture. In 2021, Diana graduated with her master's in public health with a concentration in health promotion and health sciences from Texas A&M University. Through that program, she received a certificate in health coaching and chronic diseases. Diana has worked on multiple community projects in the Rio Grande Valley concerning health insecurities and promoting healthy lifestyles. Diana is now working for the Hidalgo County in the Department of Budget and Management as the Health Wellness Program Coordinator. Okay, so let's get this going and pass it on to you two, Diana and Diana.
Thank you so much, David. This is Diana Salinas speaking. I want to thank everyone for attending today, and hopefully y'all will get some good information here. So I think Diana Huallpa is going to share the screen, and I'm going to start us off. So thank you for joining us. Today, our presentation will be on the path to healthy aging. So the path to healthy aging really begins with a balanced lifestyle. And a balanced lifestyle leads us to healthy aging and being able to really live a prosperous and fulfilling life. Because through the balanced lifestyle that we can have, we'll be able to set ourselves up to age well and be healthy throughout our lifespans. So a really great resource and tool that I have used throughout, my career and academic career is known as the Wellness Wheel. It really encompasses the sections of our lives where we can identify where we may be really successful or where we may be lacking in specific regions of our lives. And this really allows us to cut that kind of into sections and analyze it from a perspective and help ourselves ultimately. So before I show you the wellness wheel in the next slide, I want you to be prepared to rank the sections of the wellness wheel. So before it's shown, just keep in mind that we'll take 10 seconds and I'll be explaining it throughout then as well. So that way you can think to yourself and rate those sections of the wellness wheel between 1 and 10. And throughout the presentation as well, you can see if your numbers kind of change or if you might change your mind. And just be mindful of areas that may need to improve or areas, that are, that you're doing really well in right now. And give yourself grace also with maybe not being strong in certain areas and just knowing where we can improve. So this is the wellness wheel. I love it so much. This is definitely one of my passions, but so you can see here that it is broken up into 8 pieces. So we have emotional wellness, spiritual wellness, intellectual wellness, physical wellness, environmental wellness, financial wellness, occupational wellness, and social wellness. And these 8 pieces really make up the ability for us to live a fulfilled life and a healthy life. It is with all of these pieces that we can, like I said earlier, analyze and evaluate the parts of our lives that we can address and hopefully work on and, know what it's going to take for us to be ultimately happy as we age throughout our lives. And we want that perspective of aging and of our lives to be a positive one. So starting off with social wellness to begin our path, social wellness I would define it, as spending time with friends and cultivating those relationships with people on a daily basis. And I know right now it has been difficult with COVID to, some people don't want to leave their houses, and that can really put a strain on our social wellness. So we want to make sure that we are interacting with someone, on a daily basis. And for some of us, that can just be going to work and talking with our coworkers, or that can be going to the grocery store and interacting with the cashier. And each of these interactions will definitely improve your social well-being and in turn your mental well-being. It really allows us to open ourselves up to not being alone and not being by ourselves, because as human beings, we need social interaction to thrive. So with emotional wellness, which is next on the wellness wheel, there's a few things here that it can in ways that it can be, defined or worked through. So with emotional wellness, I would definitely count it as, having an outlet to vent your feelings. And there's different ways that you can do this. One being talking to someone, which I know a lot of people really enjoy doing, and it really provides a nice a safe space to voice your feelings, regardless of if the person on the other end can, assist you, but at least they're there to listen, and you can, release those emotions from yourself. Next, I would recommend writing in a journal. Being able to put those words on a piece of paper and physically see them can really allow for that release as well of those emotions and those feelings. And lastly, I also put recording your voice on your phone. And this can be done, just using your phone recorder. Maybe you have a lot to kind of get off your chest, but maybe you don't want to share it with somebody else. And but you also feel that kind of emotional buildup in your chest. And so just by recording your voice on your phone, getting out everything you need to say, you can then, delete that file, or you can keep it on there to go back and listen to later. But it allows you to really, process your feelings and your emotions. And I think it's really important that we know just for ourselves, that our feelings are validated, and not necessarily from others' perspectives, but from our own perspectives, to know that, whatever you're going through, we go through difficult times, and we may, have strong feelings and strong emotions about those. And at the end of the day, they are validated. But at the same time, knowing when you may be wrong and being able to process that maturely, and whether that may be knowing when you're wrong or you're right, and having to process those feelings and, be respectful about how we interact with others on that scale. And lastly, having a routine to process your emotions during difficult times. So this could be, if you're going through a very difficult period of your life, things as simple as having a night routine, to put yourself to bed, whether that be reading a few pages from a book, brushing your teeth, showering, and then getting into bed. Just knowing that is your routine and that is what you like to do can allow your brain to really process your emotions and give you the time to think and, ponder on those emotions and those thoughts. And my last slide that I will be presenting here is on spiritual wellness. So this can be, quite a few ways. And for a lot of people, they have a particular faith that they practice and that they, love and that they live by. And that is so important for those of us who do have that faith that is practiced, because it is an outlet that we can use within our lives to be fulfilled and to help us, during those difficult times, and be thankful for the happy and positive times as well. There's also other ways that we can practice our spiritual wellness, and that can be through meditation, which can be at any time of day. And there are apps that you can use to meditate. And it really allows us to recenter ourselves, and it aligns your soul and your body and gives you a really good, I love the term mind, body, and spirit connection. So doing, simple or doing simple things like meditating or practicing your faith can really provide that comfort for people who are or just as we age throughout life. It provides that, I think, also, a sense of security as well. So now I will be passing it on to Miss Diana Huallpa.
Thank you so much, Diana. Thank you for sharing this information. We definitely covered 3 of the different sections that we have with the wellness wheel, but I'm going to go ahead and continue with the next ones. So the first one that I want to cover is intellectual wellness. And I do want to emphasize, like Diana has been mentioning, everything is important. So there's nothing that is more important than others. So I do want to emphasize on that. But when we refer to intellectual wellness, we are referring to the area where we can recognize our own creative abilities and find ways so that we can actually increase the knowledge that we have, and potentially even improve our skills that we have. So it is something that it can definitely be improved by reading, doing some activities. I definitely know that we have our presentation yesterday on neurocognitive disorders, and I did discuss how maybe learning how to play a new instrument or learning a new language, that's something that I really like. So it's something that it's gonna benefit you to continue challenging your mind and your brain to continue growing. Like I always mention, I always recommend that you find something that you like and that you find something that you really enjoy so that you can continue doing. But it's definitely trying to find work or pleasure activities that can stimulate and challenge your mind. Now, the next one that we have is the physical wellness. And I think at this point, after all the presentations that we have been covering, from diabetes to cholesterol, we have seen how important it is to take care of our physical wellness. So number one is maintaining our health conditions. So making sure that we go to our physician, we go to our primary care physician, and we do our wellness exam, our physical exam. That way we can know whether or not we have a chronic condition that we need to address. And if that's the case, we need to make sure that we are following the treatment. We need to make sure that we are taking the medication that we're doing, that we follow the doctor's recommendation, whether it's exercising or eating healthier. We definitely want to make sure that we are working together and with our physician, and of course, any other partner that you may have in your health journey, so that we can make sure that we maintain and we manage our conditions such as diabetes, hyperlipidemia, high cholesterol, which is high cholesterol, or high blood pressure as well. Now, the other thing that I do want to mention with exercises is that the recommended amount of time to exercise is 150 minutes per week. That definitely you can divide across the week. So for example, 30 minutes for 5 days, or 1 hour for 3 days, or something like that. And again, find something that you like, something that you really enjoy, so that you can continue doing it. I know that in the past, one of the things that I really enjoy is dancing. I used to be in ballet classes, jazz classes. So that's something that I know I was a little bit more consistent with, but I do think that we need to find something that we like, whether it's walking, swimming, there's Zumba as well. We do have weightlifting. And at this point, I do want to remind our employees that we do have those free fitness classes at the Precinct 2 Indoor Sports Complex that you can definitely take advantage of to continue to receive that training from athletic trainers. So that's also another option. And then we do have to talk about eating a balanced diet. It is very important that when we take care of our physical health, we need to make sure that we are taking into consideration what are we putting in our body? What are we eating? Are we eating a lot of fast food? Because I know that we do live in a very fast world, but we do need to be mindful that what we eat is going to be reflected and is going to be influencing our overall health. So we want to be mindful. One of the things that I do like to share or practice is mindful eating, which is basically just being present when you eat. What happens that sometimes we're watching TV when we're eating, or we are just, I don't know, maybe talking and doing laundry, for example, in my case, and we don't realize how much food we're actually eating. But when we're present in the moment and we actually take the time to just eat and actually, I guess, feel the flavor of the food and all of that, it definitely helps and makes a difference. Also to do the portion control. Perfect. Let's go ahead and move into the next one. Environmental wellness. This is something really important, and I think it's something that, compared to the physical wellness, is not something that is very much related or associated to overall health. However, it is extremely important. So we do need to be super mindful that in order for us to have an overall well-being, we need to have a safe living environment. We need to have a safe place where we can go eat and do our shopping. Also a safe place where we can exercise outdoors, like parks and things of that nature. And for this this section of the wellness wheel, I do want to talk a little bit about the Maslow's hierarchy of needs. And now this goes back to one of the psychology theories that we have, and this was presented in 1943. So it's something that has been discussed for quite a while already. This was presented by Abraham Maslow in a paper called A Theory of Human Motivation. And this was in a journal of psychology back in 1943. However, this was coming from a perspective that in order for us to continue to improve ourselves, some of the basic needs have to be met first. So the first one, and if you see on the orange section that we have, is physiological or the physical. So basically being able to, for example, have food available, water available, being able to sleep, being able to have a place where we can be warmed and being able to rest. Those are the basic needs. Once those needs are being met, then we can move to the second section, which is kind of like an orange, but a little bit lighter. And that's the safety and security. Maybe we do have a place where we can live, and that's meeting our physiological needs, but maybe it's not a very safe place. So that's the next level that we need to make sure that that is being met. Now, the third one that we have is love and belonging. And as I mentioned yesterday, we are social human beings. We definitely need connections. We definitely need those friends, those family members that support you. So we want to have a strong social support that is going to be able to provide us that support when in need, right? We want to have those relationships with our friends, our partners, and of course our coworkers, make sure that we collaborate together. And that's where intimacy becomes really important. Now, the next one is self-esteem or esteem. If any of those needs that we have discussed before have not been met, we cannot start talking about esteem. So in that section, it's more like the feelings of feeling accomplished. There's no priority that is going to be made if the first three levels are not being met. And the same thing with the last one, which is self-actualization. So the process of growing, of developing as a person, the giving ourselves new challenges, new goals. If we don't meet the first four, that's probably not going to be the priority for a person. And let's go ahead and move to the next one. The next one is financial wellness. In order for us to have a healthy aging path, which is the topic of this presentation, we want to make sure that our financial wellness is also in good conditions. So, of course, we do have here having a steady income, having some financial security, which for us county employees, we do have a job and thankfully we're able to have an income. However, we know that not everybody has a job, so we definitely want to be mindful that having a financial stress has an impact on the overall health and well-being of a person. But for that, I definitely recommend, and it's super important that we plan for retirement. And we did have a presentation yesterday about the TCDRS on retirement, but also saving to purchase a home. If that's something that you want to do, we definitely need to make a plan so we can purchase that home. Allocating some funds for your co-pays and deductible to see a doctor. It is sometimes easy, and thankfully here with the county, we do have the Verajo Health Clinic where it's completely free. But when we need to see a specialist, there is a fee. So we need to make sure that we allocate money so that we can have it available when we do need to go see a doctor. Now, the next tip that I do want to make sure that I mention is establishing and maintaining a good credit. So that's something that definitely can be, it is important and that we need to work. For that, I do recommend that you contact our employee assistance program because we do have financial counselors available on the team that they can help you to make that plan on how to improve your credit score. And of course, creating a plan to pay any debt that you may have or any other financial concerns so that you can actually address them. But financial wellness is also really important. We do know that it causes a lot of stress, and it's something that we need to remember that it is associated with our overall health and well-being. The next one, which is actually the last section of the wellness wheel that Diana and I have been presenting, is occupational wellness. And it is just as important as any other that we have discussed. And I'm super happy to be talking about this because as part of the Hidalgo County Wellness Program, we want to make sure that our employees have all the tools and all the resources to have a healthy life overall, but of course, also more specifically here at the workplace. So having a healthy work environment, developing those connections with the coworkers that we're seeing every single day, making sure that we feel safe, that we feel free of harassment, and also always seeking for support. I think it is really important that we understand that this is an organization, and what an organization means is that we're not alone. We are not alone in a department. We're not alone in the county as a whole. So definitely, I think seeking help from the people that you can rely on, such as your supervisors, managers, definitely is important. And we always want to make sure that we provide the necessary resources so that you can feel that way. We definitely have a, like I mentioned before, the Employee Assistance Program. That's another tool that can be utilized. And of course, it is important as part of your overall health and wellness. And the last slide that I'm going to be presenting is on how important it is that all of these different areas that Diana and I have discussed connect to each other and that they are able to create or address some of the different aspects of our lives so that we can change our mindset about aging. I think one of the things that I was discussing with Diana before we were presenting is that I think aging sometimes can be seen as something negative, as something that we don't necessarily want to go through that process, right? But it's part of life. It's something that is out of our control. But aging or getting to the older ages is not necessarily something bad or something negative. I actually think that as we continue to get older, we learn more, we have more experience in different areas. We get to be, we also get to be and meet a lot of people. So there's so many other positives that we need to start shifting our mindset a little bit in trying to see aging instead of something negative as something positive. We definitely feel that by addressing all the different areas of our wellness wheel that we had at the beginning of the presentation, you're going to be able to have a healthy aging process. Thank you so much for being with us today. And at this point, David, we're open for any questions or comments that there might be.
Okay, thank you so much, Diana and Diana. It sounds like a law firm. Okay, we're gonna be going on to the Q&A, and let me see what we have. A few that have been submitted already. The first one, could you please elaborate on spiritual meditation that could incorporate not only myself but my husband?
Yes, I'll take that question. So, yeah, I think it's great that to not only be on that path yourself to find, great meditation or spiritual meditation styles, but to incorporate like family members as well. I would definitely start off with, if you're talking about like meditation specifically, sitting down in a quiet room. And one thing I really love to utilize are guided meditations. And those can be found on YouTube. There's specific apps that you can use. And just a quick Google search will provide you with many, many resources on those apps. And if you just type into Google guided meditation, bring yourself to a seated position and, dim the lights and really just allow yourself to bring, your breathing to like a slower pace. And just try going through one of those guided meditations. And see how it makes you feel afterwards, and definitely tying in that spirituality to it. If you do practice faith, keeping those, you can also have like mantras that you repeat to yourself, and those can be incorporated with your faith or not, but yeah, I think doing something like that would be a great way to start it off and incorporate your family members.
Yeah, and if I can add to that, I just want to emphasize that there's different types of meditation. So as I say in the beginning of the presentation, we do want to make sure that you find something that it works for you. In my case, I do like to practice mindfulness meditation, which is a little bit more different. It takes, instead of trying to make sure that our mind is completely white or blank, it focuses more of acknowledging our feelings, our thoughts, and actually accepting them and then letting them go. If there's something that we can do, then we do need to make an action plan. But if it's out of our control, it's just something that we need to let it go and trying to recuperate that peace of mind that we have.
Definitely, yes.
Yes. Okay. On to the next one. I'm wanting to come up with a wellness plan to help balance work and home life. What do you suggest?
I'll take that question, David. Thank you so much. I think that's something that definitely I know personally I need to work on. It's something that I think, at least that for me is, I think is helping, is having clear priorities. I think sometimes it's easy to focus too much on our current job, that we get so, I guess, just so focused that we don't see the bigger picture, right? In my case, for example, I do have my family, my husband, my sisters. They are important. They are an important part of my life, and I do need to be constantly reminding myself that I also need to allocate time for them. So I think one of the suggestions that I will say is maybe writing in a piece of paper what are your priorities. Also, for example, let's say that you also have children, making sure that you have time to help them do their homework. Some things that you know it's going to bring you some sort of, I guess, positive feelings will definitely help you to see why it's important to have a balance, a work-life balance lifestyle. Now, also trying to learn something different, allocating time. And to me, I'm someone that really likes to plan ahead of time and as much as possible and as detailed as possible. So let's say that if there's a few things that you do want to do when you go back home, trying to maybe potentially do an exercise will be a great idea. An exercise, or maybe cleaning the house or playing an instrument will definitely help you to see all the different things that you need to do after work, and hopefully trying to accomplish that work-life balance.
Okay, and there's also a question in the chat. Are there any plans for groups from the county to have meditation or different methods of help, even yoga for employees?
Diana, if I can go ahead and just take that
Yes,
question.
please.
There's different options, and I think this is a great opportunity. So as you may know, based from the introduction of this presentation that David made, Diana Salinas is now going to be our wellness coordinator, and we are looking forward into doing so many new things. I know that we have discussed yoga in the past with a few employees. That's something that we definitely want to incorporate. There's already some resources available, so I do want to highlight those. There's definitely some fitness programs that are available to our county's medical insurance, which is kind of like a discount program. So basically you log in, you pay a monthly fee, which if I remember correctly is $10 per month, and you can access on-demand videos of so many different exercises, and that includes yoga as well as meditation as well. But we definitely want to make sure that we're adding that to our wellness program, and it's something that Diana and myself are working and making sure that that's in the upcoming months, and especially for year 2022. Diana, would you like to add something to that?
Just that, yes, no, I'm very much looking forward to, planning for next year. Everything, we're already getting some great events in the works, and making, what the county employees want to see and want to, have come out of the wellness program is definitely a big priority. And we want to make sure that we're providing resources to y'all that not only are necessary, but that y'all also want to be a part of and want to see happen. So yes, very excited. Thank you for the question.
Okay, and I guess Diana, Salinas, you could answer this one too. Will cooking lessons be offered in the near future?
So we are hoping to start some cooking lessons. Nothing is set in stone yet, but if we do see more interest, there will be a employee interest survey going out probably early December. So keep an eye out for that. And if we do see, some interest for cooking classes, we definitely want to provide those. So yes, keep an eye out for that survey.
Okay, and the next one, can you please tell me the times for the Precinct 2 indoor sports complex fitness classes are available? And do they still offer online classes?
Absolutely, that's a great question. So for the Precinct 2 indoor sports complex classes, they have 3 hours. The first one is at 5 a.m. The second one is at 12 p.m. noon. And the third one is at 5:30 p.m. They are 30 to 45-minute sessions. And currently, just because of COVID-19 precautions, there is a limit of the amount of employees that can attend. However, that is being revisited and potentially additional classes are going to be added. Now, regarding the online classes, that is not currently offered. However, that's something that, like Diana mentioned, we are planning on sending that survey and making sure that we address all the needs that you have. So feel free to add those comments into the survey in December when we send that.
Okay, and the next one, I'm still very cautious to attend a gym because of COVID. What tips or activities do you suggest besides a gym?
Well, there's, many different platforms that provide exercises and, or anything fitness related. And there's a lot of alternatives as well to just taking exercise classes. So, I totally understand being nervous to go back to the gym, especially right now, because not everyone cleans the machines or wears a mask. And so it can be a little nerve-wracking. So I would definitely start off, it depends what your goals are, also what your fitness goals or just health goals in general for wanting to be active and partake in physical exercise. So there's lots of different options, such as, going on a walk. The weather has been really nice lately, and we're supposed to be getting I think a cold front soon. So perhaps going on a walk with family, let me see. I was going to say swimming, but if that cold front's coming in, we don't want to swim. But also, Zumba classes are available. And I would also recommend YouTube for any exercise routines. I know that there's a lot of different resources on YouTube that, provide either HIIT workouts or just cardio-based workouts. And then for cardio, again, there's walking, running, and then bike riding as well. So I know that we have, our county parks do have some walking trails. And then Precinct 2 is opening up their hike and bike trail as well, which is a great resource that we have through the county. So I would definitely utilize those outdoor features as well, if you are, interested in doing that. So,
yeah, and that hike and bike trail at Precinct 2 is really nice. And actually, their ribbon cutting is going to be on Saturday.
mm-hmm.
And, so look that up. I believe they have it on their Facebook page.
Yes, they will be having a 5K for the grand opening. So if y'all are interested in partaking in a 5K, sign up and it'll be a lot of fun. I think they're having costumes as well. So.
Yes, and the three of us are going to be there. So definitely,
yes, we will be there.
Stop there and say hi to us.
Yes.
Okay, and the next one, I'm curious about meditation, but there's no way I can sit still and keep my mind quiet. What do you suggest?
I think that's a great question. And I think that happens usually when we're barely starting to meditate. So that's something that it's very normal. So I think the first thing that I want to say is don't put a lot of pressure on yourself on sitting still or on being still and keeping your mind quiet, like the question says, or blank, for example. It is normal. It's part of the process. And one of the things that I know Diana mentioned at the beginning was writing, journaling. That's something that I really like to do, and it really helps to keep my thoughts, to maintain my mind, I guess, a little bit quieter, blank, and to manage those emotions and those thoughts. So definitely having a journal or having a paper where you can start to write all those things that come to your mind. Because what happens is that usually we're trying to meditate, but then we remember that we didn't send that email, or that we need to do laundry, or that we need to cook and we don't have dinner ready and we need to go to the supermarket. So all of those things are things that can be easily addressed if we create kind of like a task list or a to-do list. So definitely having a paper also close to you, even if it's in your phone. Now with technology, it's so much easier. So if instead of writing, you want to use your phone, that's absolutely perfect. And that will definitely help you to clear your mind a little bit better. Now, the other recommendation that I will have is try to practice mindfulness or meditation laying down. That's something that I do. And I know sometimes it is very, you may fall asleep, which is okay and it's normal. I usually do my meditation at night. And after we cover some of those, either use my phone to write things that I need to do the next day or review my calendar. So I know that there's nothing else that I need to do. So maybe that's something that you can try to see how you feel that instead of doing it sitting down, you can do it laying down. So that's another tip.
Yes, definitely. I know I kind of fall asleep when I try to meditate. I just like knock out.
Me too, sometimes it happens.
Yeah, and actually that's something that all of what you said was also something that Alexis, a previous wellness champion, she's talking about that in the chat right now. That's something that she's done, and a lot of what of our other wellness champions have told us they've done. And you could actually see all their stories on our website at the Hidalgo County wellnessprogram.com and check out their stories.
Definitely.
Okay, and the next one, what is the difference between mindfulness and meditation? I would assume mindfulness is more being aware of everything.
Yeah, exactly. And I think meditation like Diana was saying, you want to get kind of all of those thoughts kind of out of your head before you begin meditating. So that way you kind of start with the blank slate and you're able to just focus, let's say, on a mantra that you're trying to like manifest, for lack of a better word. But you really are just focusing on your breathing and on the stillness. While I would say mindfulness is kind of the opposite, where you're not necessarily focusing on like everything you have to do, but you're being mindful of where your body is and like what's going on in the moment and how you can, it's really, I think, about being appreciative of our bodies, of where we are at in the world. And sorry if I'm getting a little hippie on you, but where we are at and where what our surroundings are, and just being mindful and being grateful for those things. Diana, do you think I got that right?
Yes, I think you answered the question correctly. For mindfulness, is more about, for example, even being mindful of the smell of the room that you're at. Maybe if you're doing mindfulness meditation in the morning, you're going to smell that coffee that is really good in the morning. Or maybe if you are doing it when taking a bath, you are smelling those, whether it's the bath bombs or the essential oils, like being mindful of the smells, of the feelings that your body is experimenting. That's being mindfulness. And there's a lot of practices for being mindful. So like I mentioned, when we were discussing the physical section, there's also mindful eating. So there's different things and different, I guess, areas of mindfulness. But I think, Diana, you explained it perfectly.
Thank you. I also want to add that, a lot of us at work will be sitting at our desks, for maybe long periods of time, or even if you're not sitting, but you have been just kind of going through the motions throughout the day, it's really good to kind of check in with yourself, usually 1 to 2 times a day, and do a little mindfulness check, just wiggle your toes, wiggle your fingers, kind of listen to what's around you, and just kind of be present in the moment. Because I know we can tend to kind of get wrapped up in work and going through the motions.
Yes, and if I can just add one more thing to that question, because I do remember that we do have a mindfulness program within our employee assistance program. So definitely make sure that you go to the on-demand sessions that we have. We have one with Greg from our employee assistance program from DR Oaks, and he goes over also the mindfulness program that is available to there. And all of that is available to all county employees, but also to the family members and to everybody that lives in the house with one employee. So definitely go back, or also connect with our employee assistance rep, which is Rachel. She's amazing, and I'm sure she'll be more than happy to help you answer any question regarding the EAP services.
Okay, we have enough time for one more question, and then it's lunchtime. What are some holistic ways to improve occupational wellness?
That's a great question. So, and I think we need to divide that question into, first, we need to understand a little bit more what is holistic. And when we talk about holistic, and that's the approach, for example, that Vera Whole Health the Center takes, but that's also the approach that when I was kind of like in the beginning process of developing this program, I had that holistic perspective in mind, which means that we want to make sure that we take as many things as we can into consideration. So for example, for occupational health, it is important that we have, for example, a comfortable chair. As basic as that is important, because like Diana mentioned right now, we are sitting down most of the day, at least some of us, right? So we want to make sure that we have a comfortable chair, that we have water close by, that we always have a water bottle. I did see David using our wellness program water bottle right now. So definitely that's something good. Making sure that we have also maybe making time to actually stand up a few times, just go around the building, make sure that you stretch your legs. Also, if there's any aspect that needs to be addressed within your division or your department in regards to potentially not feeling safe or in your work environment, definitely I will encourage that you address that directly with your supervisors. And of course, we do have our human resources, and I do believe that most of the times things can be solved internally. However, know that you're not alone. And I think feeling that level of support, that's definitely something important for us to address that. And of course, trying to make sure that you have all the necessary tools and resources in order for you to complete your job. That is critical. If we know that, at least I know for my team, I always want to make sure that we have everything, whether that's a pen that we need, or maybe that's a software that we need. We want to make sure that they are able, employees are able to complete their job in the most efficient and effective way, and always seeking help. I think it's important, asking questions, making sure that you have healthy relationships with your coworkers, stay connected, and things of that nature. Diana, would you like to add anything to that?
I mean, I think you got a really good, coverage of the mindfulness aspect of it, really with being at work and, trying to make sure that we all, go home really not just, happy at the end of the day, but also, knowing that we did and I don't want to simplify this, but just had a good day at work and had a really good, a good job. So I, really want to thank everyone for attending attending this presentation. And there are a few more today, so after lunch. But yeah, thank you so much.
Yes. David, and before you close, I know we're almost past lunchtime, but yeah, definitely, like you mentioned, Diana, we definitely, at least I know that in our division and in our department, we want to make sure that employees are happy. So that's something that we definitely want to make sure that you, whenever in the department or building that you're working, make sure that you want to wake up to go to work. And it's sometimes I think it can get a little bit routinary, but it's something that we definitely want to make sure that when the employees are happy, more than likely employees are going to be more efficient and more effective and more productive. So it's an overall good cycle. So we want to make sure that that's the case. And I think we covered everything as much as we can. I know that you mentioned, Diana, also having a routine. That's also a good thing that we can discuss when discussing occupational well-being. I know for sure that I have a Sunday routine that it helps me prepare for the week. So I do like to take long baths and maybe watch some cooking shows or TV crime series as well. So find something that you like and that will help you to recharge batteries for the upcoming week. But like Diana said, thank you so much for joining us today.
Okay. Thank you, Diana and Diana, and thank you, the viewers right now watching. We hope you got a lot of good information, and thank you for being engaging, and make sure to continue watching. I believe we have 3 more presentations, and stay safe and be healthy and have a good lunch right now too. Thank you.
Thank you, David.